Right off the bat, this is not every Godzilla movie reviewed. There are too many of them. Just making that clear right off the bat. I'm going to be reviewing 8 movies today. I'll rank all the movies I talk about today at the end. Maybe in the future, I'll like come back and review some more and add them to the ranking. So eventually, I'll have ranked and reviewed every Godzilla movie, and peace will be upon the world. So my history with Godzilla begins in 2014, where I discovered the original movie because I was just getting into film, and that one's a classic. And from there, I binged the entire series. Like, for the next few days, I just watched every Godzilla movie. So I have seen every Godzilla movie, but I don't remember like half of them. I think watching these movies back to back to back like that is like the worst way to watch them, because holy shit, they blend together. So for this first batch of Godzilla we got here, coming straight out the oven, hot and ready Ziller coming up, I chose to review the 8 Godzilla movies that I remember the most. The ones that stuck with me even though I watched them in the worst possible way. The ones that stuck with me even though I watched them in the worst possible way. So, let's just get started.
You know, when it comes to movies, there are 2 types. Regular movies and
Godzilla
movies.
This is one of my favorite movies. The reason I didn't do a Godzilla video earlier is because the original Godzilla is so harrowing that it's like hard for me to talk about it and also have like silly jokey jokes. It's just a haunting portrayal of mass trauma. The scene where Godzilla attacks Tokyo for the first time, it is so haunting. The scene is scary, it's sad, it's depressing, bleak. It's one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen in a film. And not just that, the visuals in this movie are so provocative and almost expressionistic. The visual of Godzilla towering over these buildings and tiny people running away. The fires breaking out behind him. His fucking atomic breath looks incredible. And the never-ending smoke just billowing off of him throughout the whole movie. And that's not even mentioning the score, which is fucking outstanding. And not just the main theme, which is iconic at this point. Every song is so good. They're so good at building this foreboding atmosphere. And the sound design is so great too. The fucking rubber glove rubbed against, what was it, a violin or something? To create Godzilla's SKREEONK. And I haven't even talked about the bleak ending where they build the oxygen destroyer to destroy Godzilla. Why is it called an oxygen destroyer if they destroy Godzilla with it? Plot hole, that's gotta be a cinema sin, but it's a hollow victory. And I love how the movie, even though Godzilla has like fucked things up for the entire runtime, the ending is, you feel for him. Because at the end of the day, he's just an animal. He's the personification of nature getting revenge on humanity for inventing the atomic bomb. And at the end of the day, they're not sure if he's dead for good. And even if he is dead, there could just be another one. As long as nuclear weapons exist, there could be another Godzilla. It's an incredible movie. It's outright masterful. I love everything about it. So this one I only remembered for the fight scene. From what I remember of the other parts of the movie, it's just boring, and like the boring bits are occasionally interrupted by scenes of brilliant stupidity. The movie will be going along and it's just boring and not interesting. And then some random bullshit happens and you're like, wait a minute. They like get Kong and they like tie a bunch of balloons and they just like float him to this island, and that's how they get Kong on the island. And the Kong suit is so funny and goofy looking. There's this one scene where he's like, where he bangs his chest and it's the funniest thing ever. It is so hilarious to me that this is the 3rd Godzilla movie and also the third Kong movie. Like it took two movies to go from horrifyingly bleak portrayal of the trauma of nuclear war to whatever the fuck this is. And I love it. Anyway, just watch the fight scene between Kong and Godzilla. It's glorious, cheesy monster fun. So spoilers, Godzilla has a son in this movie, and the whole movie is him sort of protecting him and training him to fight for himself, right? So this movie is just Godzilla being a dad, and that's the movie. It sounds bad, but it's weirdly endearing. Seeing Godzilla just being an annoyed parent is really funny and kind of cute. Like, I don't even want to get into a lot of the specifics because it's just actually pretty good. And the ending in the snow is just downright touching. It's one of the most heartfelt moments in the whole series. Just a weirdly wholesome little movie about two kaiju having a father-son bond. But it also has some like really stupid shit in it. So I remember this one being my least favorite out of all the Godzilla movies when I did my binge session. It's just fucking weird and like bad. I had no fucking clue what was going on in this movie. And the fight scenes are so bad. Like, I vividly remember this one clip of like, of Hedorah, the smog monster, like floating towards Godzilla at like 5 miles per hour, and Godzilla just goes, whoa, and like jumps out of the way. Although in my research, I apparently found that some people defend this movie. Like even Roger Ebert said it was his favorite of the Godzilla films. I don't know what, I don't know what they're talking about. They praise it for its uniqueness from what I can understand. And like, yeah, it's pretty fucking unique. Yeah, maybe I should like rewatch this movie properly with like film goggles on and like try to understand why people defend it and say it's one of their favorites. But that day is not today. This one's fucking weird too, but it's infinitely more fun than Hedorah. I mean they're all weird. Who am I kidding, right? In this one, there's some weird shit with aliens, and Jet Jaguar is here.
Jet Jaguar, yeah, Jaguar.
And Godzilla does a drop kick, and it's awesome. And then he shakes Jet Jaguar's hand, and they're best friends now. This one's just great. This is a great fun time. This whole franchise has like 2 modes: serious, meditative portrayals of collective grief, and silly haha kaiju fights. And I love both sides of this franchise. And I feel like if you want the silly, corny, campy side of this series, this is one of the best ones in my opinion. This movie just rules. Like, this is actually so fucking good. Spoilers for this one, because I do want to talk about it a bit. Although it's not really spoilers, because the tagline of the movie spoils the movie. The tagline is Godzilla dies. So, spoilers? But again, not really spoilers, because pretty early on they established that Godzilla ain't doing so hot. Although he is really hot. He's like boiling, but You know what I mean? His look is so incredible here. It looks like he's fucking melting. It's like he's a nuclear reactor that's about to explode. And the way the smoke is just coming off of him, he looks so fucking cool. And Destoroyah is a monster that's created from the blast of the oxygen destroyer from the original Godzilla. I think that's a really nice way to sort of tie this back to the original in a way that makes it feel definitive and like the last Godzilla movie.
And like returning to the somber tone of the original is so welcome and is another way the movie ties back. It's just a lot.
And when, spoilers, Godzilla dies, so heartbreaking. It's definitely the saddest Godzilla death in any of the movies, even sadder than the original movie. I'm glad the series kept going, but like if any movie was gonna be the final Godzilla movie, it would be this one. There's more to this movie, but I just want you to watch it. Like, this one's just really fucking good. Yeah, just love this movie. Just love it. This movie really captures what it would probably be like if Godzilla actually like existed. That whole trope is pretty tired and usually not good, but here it really works. Most of the movie is people arguing in rooms, and it's incredible. I don't really know how to talk about this one because it is like, it's mostly people arguing in rooms, but it's so captivating. You just feel the palpable tension going in each scene. And when Godzilla actually attacks, he's fucking terrifying. The way he keeps evolving over the course of the movie makes him unpredictable in a way. Like, you can't guess what he's gonna do next, which just makes every scene where he shows up innately tense. And the fucking atomic breath sequence is just breathtaking. And I actually like the ending, which is this like nice message of solidarity that in a time of crisis, we actually can come together and work together to solve it. It'd be easy for a movie like this, a movie with the idea of Godzilla's attacking and let's deal with like the political side of it and the bureaucracy that would come along with a giant monster attacking a city. I think it'd be easy for a movie with that idea to go full dark satire and just have Godzilla wipe everyone out because they're too busy with the bureaucracy and fighting amongst each other that they couldn't stop him. So it feels refreshing that this movie doesn't go in that direction and that it is this wholesome message of people can come together. You know, it's a nice ending even though Godzilla's not dead at the end of the movie. It's a great film. Like, it's not my favorite Godzilla, but I can definitely see why it is some people's favorite. Just a really fucking good movie.
But one thing I gotta ask is like, why is it called Shin Godzilla when his shin does not play into the plot at all? You know, it should be called like Mouth Godzilla.
This is my favorite Godzilla movie. It is so hard to pick this over the original because I fucking love the original, and you watched my review of it. It was like 20 minutes ago or however long ago. It's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I said that. But I think this is my favorite. This movie could not have Godzilla in it and I would still love it just as much. This story of guilt and moving on from a traumatic event, it's so well done, and it ties back into Godzilla's history of being a metaphor for the atomic bomb while also saying something new. And it's weird to say like the human characters are the best part in a Godzilla movie, but it really is true here. But even though I think the character drama stuff is the real selling point here, the Godzilla scenes are fucking incredible. They're so good. They're mind-blowing. They're mind-expanding. Not many movies give me this like visceral feeling that the Godzilla attack scenes in this movie do. Like, just this adrenaline pumping, come on, get him! I'm so glad I saw this in a theater. I haven't seen the minus color version, but I really want to because I think it would look great in black and white. Just an incredible film. I know this one got hyped to death last year, so some people may like not like it as much because they feel it's been overhyped. And I sympathize with that. It sucks to like not feel a movie that everyone else is saying it's the greatest thing ever. But I love Minus One. It is an incredible movie and my favorite Godzilla movie. I guess that spoils the ranking. Fuck. So I'm gonna rank all the movies I reviewed today, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. At the bottom is Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Hedorah. Did I pronounce it wrong that whole review? It's too late. I can't redo it now. There's some ironic enjoyment here, but just what the fuck? Next is King Kong vs. Godzilla. Largely boring until the great fun fight scene at the end. Just watch that scene and skip the movie. Godzilla vs. Megalon is next. So much fun. Next is Son of Godzilla, just a really wholesome, uplifting movie about guys in rubber suits hugging each other. Next is Shin Godzilla, just an incredible procedural Godzilla movie. Just watch it. Next is Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. I feel like I'm saying incredible too much. It pains me to put this like low on the list. Like the fact that it's only number 3 feels like a disservice to this movie. But these top 3 are like the best Godzilla movies. And number 2 is the original Godzilla from 1954. Just a haunting classic about the horrors of nuclear war. And finally, I know it's recency bias, and I know there's a lot of hype going into this, but Godzilla Minus One is my favorite Godzilla movie. I absolutely adore it. I want to see the minus color version, and I want to have Godzilla's children. So that was my Godzilla Christmas special. I hope you enjoyed. Have a very Godzilla Christmas.